Summer is the season of movies, and as we get ever closer to the release of Asteroid City, Barbie, Oppenheimer, and various other indie and blockbuster movies, I think there's a small part of each of us that cannot wait to get back in our cars and go and write a witty one-liner on letterboxd. But there's another way, an additional way to letterboxd that can and probably will help your growth as a filmmaker and as a film enthusiast. And that path is a good old-fashioned diary. I think we can all agree that Letterboxd is a great little app that can help us to jog a few notes, remember our experiences better, learn more about others' perspectives, and most importantly, judge our friends. Letterboxd even has a little page called the diary, so what more could we want from it? It can hold our thoughts, help us to discover new films, and facilitate some conversation. But why then do I still return to pen and paper? Let's do a little thought experiment for a moment, a little role-playing if you will. Let's say that you are where I am right now. The credits just rolled and you have your phone out ready to review the film on Letterboxd. But this wasn't just any film to you. This was something special. Maybe you hated something that everyone else loved or loved something that everyone else hated. Or maybe you're like me and you found something personal in the film that you just don't quite feel comfortable sharing on a public platform. In all these cases, you'll probably do what I do. Leave a few stars, maybe a like, maybe a few short words to say, I love this is great, this impacted me, but not really dig into the meat of the film. What I'm getting at here is that Letterboxd is a public platform, and with that comes the acknowledgement of potential eyes lurking in the shadows. And just like the subject of a documentary, once we become aware of those eyes, we begin to feel the need to perform for them. Of course, sometimes we'll be okay with bearing our soul on the stage for everyone to see, but the mere fact that it is a stage means that we won't be our fully authentic selves. We will moderate our thoughts, our word choice, and effort for every film we see, no matter our opinion of it. In other words, Letterboxd is great for socializing, discovering, and comparing, but it is not perfect for truly digesting films and their impacts on us. And this is where the journal comes in. Call it a journal, a diary, whatever. What matters is it's a small book, pieces of paper, just an ongoing Word doc that is private. The privacy already means you will feel safer spilling your thoughts, being incoherent, and just bearing your heart. But the privacy is only the first piece of what makes a film diary great. The next biggest advantage I've uncovered while keeping my own journal is the collision of various ideas. On Letterboxd or even on IMDb, you are practically siloed within a film. When you read reviews, you're on a single film, hyper-focused on it and its appreciation. But with a film journal, one page could be on Winnie the Pooh, the next an art exhibit, and then the one after on a Godard film. Each of these would seem discontinuous on their own, but placed next to each other, you'll begin to realize patterns in your preferences, what stories stick out to you, and how you approach those topics. This has been invaluable in focusing my artistic ideas and in making further choices on which films and ideas to pursue and which to drop. When you're writing, you're forging a personal connection with each film, each book, each artwork, so that you can better recognize yourself and others within them. So if you want to learn what stories attract you and what you like in film, stars and quippy one-liners won't do that, but continued writing will. So, keeping a film diary will allow you to open up, explore ideas more, and of course get better at writing and dissecting. And that's great, but where do you start? I've been keeping a diary for a few years now, and there are a few rules/guidelines that I've learned to stick to. The first and biggest rule is simply do not force yourself to write. The first time I started to journal, every movie I saw, every book I read, and every album I listened to, I made myself sit down and write about, even when I didn't have time. The result was that I quickly realized I didn't have time and stopped writing. So instead, when the journal calls, go and write until you have nothing more to say. Sometimes this will be 5 pages, and sometimes it'll just be a few sentences. The next rule is more of an encouragement. Don't just write about films. Films are great, don't get me wrong, but they are a fairly recent art form, and therefore the connections you will make are automatically limited. But if instead you write about any and all art that strikes you, from exhibits to books to games, the ideas, collisions, and boundaries become literally limitless. For me, this practice led me to some of the screenplays and stories I'm actually currently working on because I saw a unique technique in a movie and then connected it with an amazing story from a song or a book. And for my final rule/encouragement, you need to reread your journal. Through the process of writing, you'll naturally remember more, but there's an extra 10% of growth that can be gained through revisiting your thoughts. Over time, I've discovered quirks in my writing that I love and some that I hate. I've realized I missed a key element in a book or just misunderstood a film entirely. And at other times, the words on the page just serve to take me back to a great day in the past. But in each of these instances, I learned quite a lot. So this summer, after rating a film on Letterboxd and seeing what others have to say, whip out that journal and dive deeper into yourself. And hopefully in the process, you'll discover parts of your voice, connect ideas, and crystallize moments of artistic bliss. And until I see you again, I hope you have a great day, and adios.